Hi Gemini, this is your monthly reading for August. I have already pre-shuffled the cards and laid them out purely to save time so I can get straight into your reading. The energy that's being brought in this month is the King of Swords. The swords represent the air element and are representative of Gemini, Aquarius and Libra. The swords also are very much about action within the thoughts, quick thinking, and very active within the mind. This card is suggesting that there may have been some decisions you've made or are needing to make, and is asking you to look very closely at these decisions. That you may feel it's appropriate at this moment to take a step back and look at your overall life. Maybe you have been slightly selfish in regards to something or someone. But it's very much saying that you kind of feel at this moment in time that you just feel that you need to give your life like an overview, to take that step back and look at the big picture of your life and maybe consider which direction you're going in. If that is not the case for you, then it can indicate, as I said, somebody being selfish or somebody coming across in a very forceful and overpowering way. And maybe that's the energy that you're bringing this month. Maybe that's how you are portraying yourself. As I said, it's a general reading and it will mean different things for different people. We have the Moon card here, which is a major arcana card. As you can see, it is reversed. This card can speak very much about you not seeing things in the full light. That you could be deceiving yourself about someone or a situation. You're not seeing things clearly. This is coming from the effects of the past. Maybe because it's very much a card about disillusionment, a crisis of faith, indecisions about things. And I feel that it's possible that within the past you haven't had the clearest insight on something. It's like something's been hidden, that it's either something's been hidden from you within the past and the full picture is not very clear to you, or that you have been deceiving yourself about a situation or someone. That you thought a situation is a certain way or a person is a certain way, and it actually is not quite what you thought. But definitely about not having full clarity on things. And I think that the effect of that is still with you now and is being carried into this reading. The next card we have is the Five of Pentacles. The Pentacle cards represent the earth element. They are very much to do with work, money, material objects. They can represent Capricorn, Virgo and Taurus. And this card would very much back up the moon, how things really with the moon were hidden from you. And you maybe had deceived yourself with the situation, because the Five of Pentacles is a card that suggests that you could feel very much that you've been left out in the cold with something. You could be feeling very lonely. If it's within a work situation for you, then you could be feeling that you're not getting the full support at work that you feel you need at the moment. In a love relationship, you could very much be feeling that somebody doesn't love you anymore, and that's making you feel very lonely and isolated. It could be very much more about how you're feeling, because maybe because you are still feeling the effects of that moon card, and maybe the full picture of things is not completely shown to you at the moment, that it's making you feel very much left out in the cold and feeling quite isolated and feeling quite unloved. It can also say that with this card that you can't always have what you want when you want it. Sometimes you can only get something, you only get what you're meant to have at that time. It can also be saying that these are your negative fears, that you are feeling like you are going to lose everything, or you're going to lose a person, because it is very much about feeling quite isolated, and as I said, very lonely. Here we have the Five of Wands, which is fire related and applies to Sagittarius, Aries and Leo. The Five of Wands is saying that you almost feel like you are having to compete with somebody. And maybe this is within a work situation. Maybe you're feeling that you need to, maybe your job is very competitive, and that's making you feel that you need to compete. It's almost like you feel that you're in this race of life. You're in the race of life. And, you know, but it can very much say that there is some conflict around you, and that you are trying to manipulate everything to try and calm the chaos. And maybe with this conflict that may be going on around you at the moment, that could be why you're feeling very isolated and making you feel not very supported within situations. Maybe it's your own negative fears of feeling that you need to compete with somebody that's making you feel the way you're feeling. It could also be because you are still feeling the effects of the Moon card, where you have maybe deceived yourself about a situation, or you're not completely aware of everything at the moment, that you're feeling very much isolated and left out in the cold, because maybe you're feeling that things are being hidden from you at the moment. Right, our next card is the Six of Swords. The swords represent, like I said, the air energy, and are very much to do with the mind. The Six of Swords shows... it's showing that there is some solving of problems and maybe some order being brought to this. It's saying that there can be a lot of movement at the moment, but because the swords are very much about the thought process, I feel that you mentally are going through a very turbulent time at the moment. And this is creating, maybe this is creating this isolated feeling within you, because I feel that your thoughts are very jumbled at the moment, and there's this very turbulent thinking within your thought processes, and due to this kind of turbulent situation within your thinking about things, that this is making you maybe feel unhappy within a job or a relationship or within your home. It can also suggest that there is a distance between you and your partner. It could be within the sense that you physically are living apart from each other, or it could be that mentally at the moment there is a distance between you both. It can show that some stagnation is within your thought process at the moment, and it could be that you feel you've missed out on an opportunity. And because I feel that there's so much turbulence within your mind, I feel that you're feeling that everything is painstaking, and all you desire is just to have rest within your mind. I feel that there's just all these chaotic thoughts rushing around in your head, and it's almost like, gosh, when am I going to get peace? When am I going to be able to rest? Because, you know, it's just wearing you out. All these thoughts rushing around in your head are just exhausting you. The King of Swords, I did already explain to you that because once again it is saying about taking a step back and looking at your life, and maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to get some clarity within your own thought process now, and stop the overthinking, and try to gain some logic within your thinking and take a step back and look at your life in a clearer, less chaotic way than maybe you have been doing with this Six of Swords. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles. The aces are always normally very representative of new beginnings. It's like it's the beginning of something. And this Ace of Pentacles is very much saying that there is some internal change happening within your life. And I would feel, even though it's not a swords card, so not representative of your thinking, but I would feel that this because it can signify also external change going on, either within a marriage or a job front. But I would feel that this is an internal change that I feel is needing to happen within you. I feel, like I said, you've got to gain some clarity with your thoughts. You've got to try and get some clarity within your thinking. You've got to take a step back and look at your life, because this is the Ace of Pentacles is good fortune, but it's saying that there's lots of change on all levels. Internal and external change is needed. It is a good positive card, but it's going to require a lot of change, as I said, externally within situations and relationships, and also internally within you. Next we have the Six of Wands. As I've already mentioned, the wands are very fire energy. This card suggests that there could be some challenges ahead, or you are going through some challenging times at the moment. And through these challenges, there's been some lessons that have needed to be learnt. But this is a victory card, and this is saying that you've learnt these lessons, maybe the hard way, but you've learnt them, and that really now you should be giving yourself a pat on the back. And you should feel very proud of yourself, because within something you've had to put a lot of work in, and maybe it is this Ace of Pentacles. The fact that all this internal and external change has had to come about, and that has required challenges for you. But by doing so, you've learnt a lot internally within your own self. You've learnt a lot about yourself. And also external, maybe you've had to see what has needed to be changed within your life as well. But certainly it is a victory card. It is now saying that you've learnt some of these lessons and you've gone through some of these challenges, and now you should feel very proud of yourself and give yourself a big pat on the back. The next card we have is the Eight of Pentacles. The eight again is saying about hard work and effort that's been put in. Put into either your work or a love relationship. And it can be very much saying that maybe some more effort is needed to be put in. It's also saying to be realistic about things. Don't expect too much too soon, or don't in general expect too much. Be realistic about situations in your life. Because it's saying that if you are embarking on an enterprise, it doesn't matter how small this enterprise is, it will make you feel valued materially and emotionally. It's saying that even something simple, that you may develop a hobby or decide to enroll in an education course or some form of learning something new. And it could require you to have to put in extra effort and hard work to learn this. But overall, it's not a bad card. It's just saying to be realistic about things. Don't expect too much too soon, and also understand that for what you may expect, you may have to put some hard work and effort into it. It could actually be saying about the hard work and effort that you've had to put in already with this Six of Wands, because like that Six of Wands said, there has been some challenging and testing times, and you've had some hard lessons to learn along the way, but you've got through it. You've learnt those lessons, and you should be proud of yourself. And maybe this card is very much saying again about the hard work and effort you've put in to something in your life, but also reminding you to be realistic about what you expect. Our last card here is the Knight of Wands, which is reversed. It is saying that the Knight reversed can be the person that really is the driving force behind an event or project. And this could be very much somebody that you know. Because it's saying that this Knight can be the driving force behind something, but his driving force can come across in a conflicting way. It's almost like he likes conflict, and it's the conflict that he looks for within a situation, and it's the conflict that is his driving force within something. And if there's no conflict there, then he'll create the conflict, because it's almost that's what he is, I don't want to say power hungry for, but that's what keeps him motivated, is the conflict. And somebody like that is of no use to you. You don't want somebody who is solely motivated by conflict, or somebody that wants to create conflict because that keeps them motivated. And if you know somebody like this, then really be quite skeptical of them. It's not really somebody that is being sincere. It's almost like the person is in it just for their own gain. They're not in it for the bigger picture. They're not in it to help motivate or push everybody else forward and in the right direction. They're purely in it for their own gains. And you don't really want somebody in your life like that, who is being selfish, who likes conflict, and if there isn't conflict, will create it, because as I said, that keeps them moving forward and keeps them motivated. You want somebody that's going to be a team player, if it's within business, and certainly within a relationship. You want somebody that's in the relationship for both of you, not just for their own gains or for their own selfish reasons. And you know, we started out with the Moon card with very much feeling that things are quite unclear and quite that something's not as it seems, that you've either deceived yourself about someone or something, or things have been slightly hidden from you. And we now end it with this Knight of Wands, who really, as I said, could come across as being a certain way, but really, you know, because he can be quite misleading, because like I said, he is the driving force behind something, but his approach to things and his need for conflict is not healthy and not good. And the fact that he is probably in this situation for his own gain and not to really help you or support you in any way. I'm going to look at the card that is underneath the deck. And that is the Strength card, which is reversed. The Strength card is a major arcana card. And it is it's saying that when it's reversed, it says that it's like it's a failure to deal with a situation or a person in a way that has felt right to you. And with this Knight of Wands, who really is not a very nice person, maybe you have kind of, it's almost like surrendered to the opposition. It's almost like you are allowing this person to behave in this way, to create conflict and to allow them to overtake and be the driving force. And you've kind of surrendered to this almost opposition. And this card is saying that you may very much feel that you haven't got the strength to deal with this situation, and that's making you want to retreat from it. But it's saying that you can't. You need to draw on all your reserves of inner strength, and you need to confront this problem. Because you may feel that this Knight of Wands, who is such a driving force and absolutely thrives on conflict and aggression almost, comes across as this absolute roaring lion that is intimidating you and making you feel suppressed in some way, and making you feel that you haven't got what it takes to stand up to them, and is making you feel that you just want to retreat from this, and you haven't got what it takes to deal with this person or this situation, when you could find out that this person really is just a pussycat, and it's just like the exterior of them, and it's almost like a front that they're putting on, because you could feel on the outside they're coming across as this roaring lion who is a force to be reckoned with, when really you could see that inside they are just this big soft pussycat, and all of this forceful behaviour that they portray to everybody is just a front. It's just for people, it almost makes them feel that they're in control, because maybe they feel they need to be in control of this situation. So this way of them behaving like this roaring lion is, you know, making other people feel that they are controlling the situation. And rather than retreat and to almost be the weak one in this situation and surrender to this, don't. Stand up to that roaring lion. And as I said, you will need all the strength you've got to do it, but you can do it. And by confronting this and dealing with this rather than retreating from it, as I said, you could find that this person really is just a pussycat, and they're not as in control as you first thought they were. So just keep that in mind. Okay, Gemini, that was your reading for the month of August. I do really hope that somebody out there can make sense of this reading within their own lives, or even a portion of the reading may fit your life in some way. I do read all the comments that I receive, and I would dearly love to have some feedback from you. If you have liked this reading, then I would really appreciate you hitting the like button. And like I said, just to bear in mind, it is a general reading. It cannot be for every Gemini that's out there. But I just hope it matches some of you. And just to know that you do have all the strength you need within you to deal with this situation. Don't feel isolated, left out in the cold and lonely. Don't allow those feelings to be your driving force through the month of August. Maybe you have deceived yourself about someone or a situation. Maybe things have been hidden from you. But just know that deep within inside you, you have the inner strength to deal with any conflicting situation or person that's within your life. And you can turn that around. Well, I'm going to say goodbye now. I will see you again in September. Thank you for watching. Bye.